General Krixvara of the Hegemony High Command paced nervously before the containment cells aboard his flagship, the inevitable Victory. His chitinous exoskeleton clicked with each step as he examined the cargo that had cost him 3 destroyers and nearly 1,000 troops to acquire. 12 human juveniles, ranging in age from what his xenobiology team estimated to be 6 to 16 standard years, sat quietly in their individual holding cells. The capture had been meant as a demonstration of power, seize the young of the species, and the adults would surrender to any demand rather than see their offspring harmed. It had seemed like sound strategy at the time. Status report. Colonel Thexmar. Krixvara commanded as his second-in-command approached with a data pad clutched in his secondary arms. The colonel's mandibles twitched nervously. Sir, we've received communications from 17 different human military organizations, 43 civilian governments, and what appears to be every major news network in the Sol system. Excellent. Krixvara clicked with satisfaction. They're ready to negotiate. Sir, Thexmar's voice carried a note of barely controlled panic. They're not offering to negotiate. They're mobilizing. The general's primary eyes fixed on his subordinate. Clarify. Every human military vessel within a 50 light-year radius is converging on our position. Their entire fleet, sir, plus civilian craft that appear to be retrofitting themselves with weapons. Mining ships, cargo haulers, even pleasure craft are joining the formation. Krixvara's confidence wavered slightly. How many vessels? Current count is over 40,000 and climbing, sir. Our long-range sensors indicate more ships launching from every human colony world. A soft chime indicated an incoming transmission. The main display flickered to life, revealing a human female in military uniform. Her face was composed, but her eyes held something that made Krixvara's predatory instincts whisper warnings. I am Admiral Sarah Rodriguez, commanding the combined fleets of humanity, she announced without preamble. You have 60 minutes to return our children unharmed, or we will retrieve them ourselves. Your children? Krixvara stepped forward, trying to project the intimidating presence that had served him well across 47 conquered worlds. These juveniles are prisoners of war. Their safety depends entirely on your compliance with hegemony demands. The Admiral's expression didn't change, but somehow the temperature in the room seemed to drop. General, I need you to understand something very clearly. Those aren't just children to us. They're our children. Every single one represents someone's entire universe. Behind her, the display showed the tactical readout of the approaching human armada. Ships were arriving faster than the sensors could track, forming a sphere around Krixvara's position that grew denser by the minute. You cannot hope to match our firepower with such primitive vessels, Krixvara blustered, though his voice lacked its earlier conviction. General, Admiral Rodriguez replied with deadly calm. You've made a fundamental error in judgment. You assumed that capturing our young would make us cautious, make us negotiate. You don't understand what you've done. She paused, and when she continued, her words carried the weight of absolute certainty. There is no force in this galaxy that will stop us from getting those children back. Not your fleet, not your weapons, not the laws of physics themselves. You've just united our entire species behind a single, non-negotiable objective, the safe return of our offspring. The tactical display updated again. The human fleet now numbered over 70,000 vessels, with more arriving every minute. Ships that had no business being in combat were mounting weapons with the desperate efficiency of a species that had prioritized one thing above their own survival. Colonel Thexmar leaned close to his general. Sir, our intelligence reports suggest that humans have an unusual psychological response to threats against their juveniles. They become irrational. Irrational how? Krixvara demanded. They stop calculating odds, sir. They stop considering casualties. They stop thinking about anything except eliminating the threat to their young. As if to emphasize the point, the communications array lit up with hundreds of simultaneous transmissions from the approaching fleet. Not military chatter or tactical coordination, but something far more disturbing. personal messages from human civilians who had commandeered spacecraft to join the rescue operation. This is Captain Martinez on the cargo hauler Lucky Strike. I've got mining charges and a full load of titanium, or whatever it takes to get those kids home. Mining ship Deep Digger reporting. We're carrying industrial fusion cutters. Nobody hurts our children and lives to tell about it. One transmission cut through the chaos. A young voice barely past adolescence. This is Tommy Chun on my dad's repair shuttle. My little sister Emma is on that ship. I'm coming for her. Krixvara stared at the growing armada in horror. These weren't military vessels following orders. This was an entire species that had collectively decided to ship, and everyone on it were acceptable losses in exchange for 12 young humans. General, Admiral Rodriguez's voice cut through his paralysis. You now have 57 minutes. I strongly suggest you spend them wisely. The transmission ended, leaving Krixvara alone with the realization that he hadn't captured prisoners. He'd signed his own death warrant. Outside his flagship, 78,000 human vessels continued their relentless approach, each one crewed by beings who had decided that some things were worth dying for. Some things were worth killing for. And nothing in the universe was more sacred to humans than their children.